But there is something called the universal human phobia. There is something that 98% of people will have a phobic level reaction to. There is something that 98% of people have a phobia of. Around 98% of people have a phobia of human aggression directed at them. Interpersonal human aggression directed at you. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman calls this the universal human phobia. And now I'm going to explain why this is a bigger fear than death. Every year in America, hundreds of thousands of people die from the effects of smoking. Every day, millions of people casually smoke without a worry or care in the world. Every year in America, tens of thousands of people die in car wrecks. Every day, millions of people casually drive to work without a worry or care in the world. But if there is one serial killer in a town, and that serial killer kills 5 people, the whole town goes upside down, right? One terrorist attack in America kills around 3,000 people. Very tragic. The whole country goes upside down. The country still hasn't recovered from that. Around 3,000 people die every couple months from car wrecks. But why does that not dramatically alter our way of life the way terrorism does? So I read an article in The Atlantic that said that after September 11th until today, you are as likely to be killed by your furniture as by terrorists. You're as likely to die because your furniture falls on top of you as to be killed by a terrorist. If you are an American citizen, So in 2010, according to the article, globally, in 2010, 15 American citizens were killed by terrorism. In 2011, globally, 17 American citizens were killed by terrorism. So think about that. If you were to multiply that number by 1,000, let's say we have 15 American citizens killed a year in 2010 by terrorism. If you were to multiply that number by 1,000, that would be 15,000 Americans killed. That's still less than half the number of people killed in car wrecks. Car wrecks between 30 and 40,000, usually around 32, 33, 34,000 people killed a year. So if you look at these statistics, our reaction to terrorism is irrational. It's not a rational reaction because statistically speaking, so many other things are more likely to kill us. And you might say, well, it's because terrorism causes economic damage, but look at school shootings, right? Look at how we react to that kind of thing. A mass shooting, if it kills 5, 10, 15 people, that many people die in a very short time period from car wrecks or from other causes, but we react in a disproportionate way. So why do we react in that disproportionate way? 2 reasons. First of all, the universal human phobia. The other thing is that governments know how to manipulate that phobia. So this is why terrorism is so dangerous. If you look at why terrorism is so dangerous, it's so dangerous because of the way we react to it. If Osama bin Laden would have said, I want you to spy on your own people, I want you to torture, I want you to betray your own ideals, I want you to bankrupt your economy partly through war spending, we would have never done that. But by attacking us, we willingly do that in the name of safety, right? So here's another way to make this clear. Here's another example. I'm going to give you 2 scenarios and tell me which scenario is more traumatic. First scenario, you're riding your bike, you fall off your bike, you break your leg. Second scenario, you're riding your bike, a group of people grab you, hold you down, and break your leg with a baseball bat. Which is more traumatizing? Second one, way more traumatizing. But why? In both scenarios, the physical outcome is the same. In both scenarios, you have a broken leg. Why does it matter how you broke your leg? Why is it so much worse if somebody holds you down and breaks your leg with a bat? Why is it worse? It's intentional, right? And you'll probably never get over that. If you fall off your bike, break your leg, you'll probably be okay psychologically after your leg heals, or in a short time. If somebody holds you down and breaks your leg with a bat, especially a group of people, you'll probably never get over that kind of trauma. That'll haunt you perhaps for the rest of your life. Or if you do overcome it, it'll take a lot of work. So if you look at the causes of physical injury, right? Physical injury can be caused by accident, disease, natural disaster, animal attack, human attack. Whenever a human being attacks you, it's always far more traumatizing. Any physical injury caused by a malicious human attack is always far more traumatizing. This is why things like rape and torture are almost universally traumatizing. They cause so much psychological damage. So we have this phobia of human aggression, right? Trauma. When I asked what the universal human phobia is, you said death of a loved one. It depends. Let's say that your loved one is very ill and they're 95 years old and they've been in a lot of pain for 5 years. and they die, and they've had a very full life, and they die, they're 95 years old, they're very ill for a few years, they die. It's much different than if somebody rapes and murders an 8-year-old child. It's completely different. The way you react to someone dying of old age in their sleep versus the way you react to somebody raping and murdering a child is completely different. If you are that person's family member, or even if you're a part of the public, you react to it differently, because how people die, if you look at people who die of old age, and if you look at people who are facing lethal violence, very different reactions.